Hush it, get your tea and your popcorn because this is going to be a good one. The sky is blue, the grass is green. Today is Tuesday, and the black community is imploding because a content creator talked about being skinny. She's like a black content creator. All she said was that she loves being skinny and that it's her favorite quality about herself. And I actually couldn't even find the original video because it got removed by TikTok. People apparently got this woman's TikTok demonetized and got the video removed, I guess, because that's how upset they were that she said she likes being skinny. And now we've got this woman here saying that being skinny is a part of the alt right pipeline. So if you're not from the United States, whenever someone uses that term alt right, they're talking about the political parties that have a lot of like KKK members in them and like people who are like just openly extremely racist. Keep in mind that this original content creator, she never said anything about race. All she said was that she liked being skinny. Let's take a look at the video.
The collective outcry on this app when Slim Kim came out and said what most fat people know that many skinny people think is just indicative that we are not mentally prepared for the shift of conservatism, the rise in body fascism, the narrowing down of what is seen as beautiful or what is seen as an acceptable way to look has been happening for some time now. If I'm being real, it started with the deer versus doe eyes versus siren eyes versus dark feminine versus all of that. It's a pipeline. Do you have cat face or deer face turned into let's turn our faces to the side and analyze the slopes of our noses like fucking eugenicists? And I think that because we are so used to seeing the alt-right pipeline as marketed towards men, it's more difficult to recognize and understand when it's being marketed towards us in beauty spaces. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden skinny people are coming out and declaring that they love being skinny. It is not a coincidence that brands that formerly claimed to care about diversity or whatever are rolling back on their darker skin tone. People are now openly saying the R slur on social media again like it's normal. All of a sudden it's become accepted to declare on this app that you don't care about Palestinian people and their genocide. As we scroll and consume and even participate in social media, we need to be engaging in critical thought. Media literacy is dead. Can we revive it, please?
Okay, so did you hear all of those different buzzwords she was using to demonize skinny people? She literally said that it was body fascism. So she just made up a term called body fascism. She's calling you a fascist. If you are skinny and you enjoy being skinny, you are a fascist, according to this woman. And then notice how she randomly ties it in with the conservative party
on this app when Slim Kim that we are not mentally prepared for the shift of conservatism that is happening.
And notice how she said that it's a shift into conservatism as if being skinny is something political. Being at a healthy weight, that has nothing to do with the political party that you're in, sis. So do you see what I'm talking about? A lot of people who are like into this super woke, almost like this hotep black community, a lot of times they will hide behind isms. Okay, they'll hide behind fat phobia. By the way, my psychological theory on a lot of black women is that what they're experiencing a lot of times is not colorism. It's really just that she's fat, but that's another video. But notice how she's randomly tying being skinny to the political party and saying that this is the rise of being conservative. That's why people are talking about being skinny. Being skinny has nothing to do with being a Republican. Like the content creator literally was just talking about how she enjoys her body or she enjoys being skinny. Also, have you ever noticed the hypocrisy? Like, why is it okay for you to like being fat, but it's not okay for someone to like being skinny? And if you like being skinny, you're falling for conservatism.
Narrowing down of what is seen.
And then she says that by talking about being skinny, you're narrowing down what is being seen as beautiful. So, once again, this is actually an inferiority complex because just because someone says that one body type is beautiful, it doesn't mean that they're saying your body type is ugly. So, your inferiority complex is showing, sis. Do you see what I'm talking about? Imagine being friends with a woman like this. Seriously. And a lot of women, they wonder why no one wants to be their friend. They wonder why they can't get along with other women. Well, it's because of stuff like this. It's because black women try to put other black women into a box. They try to make other black women into a monolith. And so if you're a black woman who likes being skinny, that's a problem because, you know, you're supposed to be big or you're supposed to be thick, or like if you support being skinny, it means you're a conservative. You're going into the alt-right pipeline by being at a healthy weight. It's almost as if they are equating being obese with being woke. And it's like, sis, you don't have to prove how woke you are by being 300 pounds.
Seen as beautiful or what is seen as an acceptable way to look has been happening for some time now. If I'm being real, it started with the deer versus doe eyes.
And then she makes it as if it's all this big conspiracy theory, like saying that being skinny or saying that this content creator who talks about being at a healthy weight, she's saying it's all a part of this pipeline. And notice how she even brought up Palestine in that. So she's literally bringing up different wars with other countries and she's tying it to being skinny when the original content creator said nothing about Palestine, nothing about conservatives, nothing about politics. But this is the social strategy of a lot of women who have inferiority complexes. They will hide behind isms, they will hide behind pseudo intellectualism, they will hide behind woke culture, and they will hide behind political correctness in order to basically silence you. You're not allowed to be different than her. You're not allowed to look different than her and to like how you look. Have you ever noticed this? Women with inferiority complexes, they have this mindset of you're only allowed to like how you look if you look like me. But if you look different than me, if your body is skinny and my body is fat, and you like being skinny, I'm offended by that. Meanwhile, I don't see skinny girls getting offended by fat girls saying they love being fat. I don't get offended if a girl says she has a fat ass or if she has big boobs or she has a thick waist. I don't get offended by any of that. Well, let's get into the next video.
Call me a hater, but Slim Kim's video about how she's so happy she's skinny did bother me. And I think it is weird. I also find it so interesting that she felt comfortable making this video after the election because there is a correlation. What we're going to start to see is so many people clinging on to whatever perception of privilege that they have as a means of advanced social advancement. But back to Slim Kim. She knows what she was trying to say. You know what she was trying to say. We all understand what she was trying to say. And I at least wish that y'all would be comfortable and stand on it and stop trying to make it seem like we're just taking it the wrong way. Because the reality is, she's only happy to be skinny and, thinks about being skinny all day is because she believes that there's some perception, some privilege that's attached to her skinniness. And whenever someone tries to use privilege as an example, with me at least, the question that I always ask is, where in your life can you show me the benefit of this privilege? What have you accomplished as a result of this privilege? Anyways, that's just how I feel. If you are happy that you're skinny and you feel, and that's all that you think about, and you get to have a better existence on earth with your skinniness, then I guess go for it. Enjoy.
Okay, first of all, this lady really sounds like a hater, but I find it interesting how she's saying that women are trying to use their privilege as a form of social advancement. Well, no shit, Sherlock. What have you been doing your entire life? Like, seriously, have you just been living your life at the bottom? Anytime somebody says in shock that women are trying to socially advance, I'm actually shocked at them because I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, tell me your life is crusty without telling me your life is crusty. Like, you're just admitting that you're essentially laying down on your back and letting life happen to you. You're letting yourself be a doormat instead of trying to advance. So, you shaming someone for wanting to socially advance, whether it's socioeconomically, whether they want to have a better social circle and not be around toxic people like you, like that always blows my mind whenever I see that. It's almost as if they're shaming people for wanting to be skinny and wanting to be perceived in a positive light. Who doesn't want to be perceived in a positive way? Like, who doesn't want to make a good first impression? When you walk in a job interview, you are trying to socially advance. You creating a TikTok account and getting your voice heard is you trying to socially advance. And also, she's talking about this girl being privileged for being skinny. But this woman right here, this overweight Black woman, doesn't realize that she actually has victim privilege. She has Black privilege. A lot of people are more likely to listen to those that they perceive as being at the bottom because those women's collective image, they promoted this collective image that they are the most downtrodden. And so whenever the topic comes up of being downtrodden, these types of women actually have privilege when it comes to being heard because people are more likely to listen to you because obviously they don't want to be called racist. So you, by creating this TikTok, you are actually expressing your form of privilege, no matter how demented it may be. So I find that very interesting how she shames someone else for having privilege while simultaneously wanting to have privilege herself. Living in a first world country is a privilege. Having long natural hair, which she appears to have, that's a form of privilege. So what are you talking about? Why are you shaming one privilege, but you're not shaming the others? And this actually goes with my psychological theory that women only shame the privileges that they don't have. Okay, so she has no problem with black privilege. She has no problem with long natural hair privilege or maybe having nice skin or having melanated skin, having richly melanated skin and the anti aging benefits. She has no problem with any of those privileges, most likely. But she does have a problem with the privileges that she does not have access to. And so she's trying to shame people. And then she goes into a rant saying, what results do you have in your life from your privilege? So, this is the problem that I have with a lot of unambiguous Black women with inferiority complexes. What they will do is they will try to talk to women who are more privileged than them in their eyes. And then they'll try to make you prove what results you have gained from your privilege. And it's like, first of all, nobody owes you shit. This woman, she doesn't have to prove how being skinny has improved her life. She doesn't have to prove anything to you because she doesn't owe you an explanation for why she's living the way that she's living. So I think that's actually a form of entitlement. Like, oh, you need to prove to me what kind of privileges you get from your complexion. Prove to me what privileges you get from your body type. And it's like, first of all, nobody has to prove anything to you. But since you brought it up, a lot of skinny people have lots of benefits. And in the case of that content creator, Slim Kim or whatever her name is, her proof of concept would be the fact that she is going viral on the internet. She is now famous. I'm now making a video about her. She's getting tons of media coverage simply for the fact that she stated something about being skinny. So that's actually a huge form of social power. So that's one form of proof right there. Okay, number two is, obviously the media, Hollywood, the music industry, they are more likely to support women who are at a healthy weight versus women who are extremely obese, like yourself. Okay, so that's proof of concept number two. I could go down an entire list and start listing off all of the benefits of thin privilege, but you just admitted in your video that you were offended by her talking about thin privilege. And also, she mentioned how, oh, they're only talking about this after the election. No, that's not true. People have been trying to lose weight and be skinny for centuries now. So, what are you talking about? People have been wanting to be at a healthy weight for centuries. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do with anything. People always have been interested in getting healthy. Okay, so as far as it becoming more of a trending topic on social media, I mean, I personally, I may sound egotistical, but I kind of believe that it's been influenced by the exotical movement. If I'm being honest, I think that because we are the only space on the internet that has positively promoted social climbing or privilege, or even the concept of privilege stacking, it's starting to gain popularity all across social media. So, I mean, if you're talking about social media trends, at least give credit where credit is due, sis. But let's look at some of these comments. This person says, it bothered you because you don't love yourself. End of story. Work on yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, please. Exactly. This person says, it must be miserable to have to wake up every day and think about that. To live your life set around beauty standards from decades and centuries ago is wild. Being skinny is not a beauty standard from centuries ago. It is literally something that helps your health. Okay? So that literally is something that has been proven to lengthen your lifespan, to give you more energy. So, why is it that if somebody wants to be skinny, they're automatically vain? And it must be because of beauty. You're actually admitting that you believe that skinny bodies are more beautiful than overweight bodies. Okay, so you're actually agreeing with the people that you're against. And have you ever noticed that there's always this rhetoric? Like, whenever you talk about unambiguous Black women's hair or their skin or whatever, people will say, mind your own business, stay out of Black women's business, stay out of Black women's hair. It's my body, my choice. Okay, so if somebody wants to be skinny, why can't it be her body, her choice? Why is it that she has to prove to you, a random person on the internet, what privileges she has attained by being skinny? I mean, one of the privileges of being skinny is you get more dating options. You're more likely to have dating options if you're into that. If you are dating men or whatever, or if you are on dating apps, if you're on social media, you tend to get more attention. Let's say you post a fashion video or you post a bikini video or something or a try on haul and you are skinny, you're more likely to get attention or views because of things like that. You have more opportunities if you're trying to do modeling. You can literally see the bone structure in your face more when you have less fat on your face. And by the way, do you see her hierarchy thinking? Because her wanting the woman to prove what privileges she had, it's because she's comparing herself to her. The only people that ask you to prove what kind of privilege you have are the women who are comparing themselves to you. I said what I said. Like, a lot of people, they come against the exotical space and they'll be like, well, this person has nothing about their life that I'm jealous of. Okay, but you just admitted that you are comparing your life to mine. So the fact that you're even comparing yourself to someone else in the first place, that's already a sign that points to insecurity right there. So you're blowing up your own spot, sis. Also, I'm in the middle of editing right now, but did you notice how one of these creators was talking about doe eyes versus fox eyes, and then you're turning to the side and examining the slope of your nose and how that's eugenics? Knowing the slope of your nose, that has nothing to do with eugenics. Everything is not a hierarchy. Some people examine the slope of their nose so that they know how to do their makeup. Like, if your nose slopes downward and then you're contouring it a certain way, then you're going to have these big black lines on the side of your nose because of how prominent your nose is. Knowing if you have high visual weight or low visual weight, all of that stuff is a part of simply knowing how to do makeup that goes with your actual facial features. It has nothing to do with whose nose is better. But if you have an insecurity, everything in your mind is going to be focused on who is better, whose nose looks better, whose body looks better, who has more privileges. Oh, she thinks she's better than me because she's skinny. Do you see the insecurity showing? Okay, back to the video. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Do you think that being skinny is racist? Are you a part of the alt-right community if you enjoy being at a healthy weight? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.